everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you Kathiawadi Thali. Those of you who's not familiar with it, it's basically one of the region in Gujarat, and their food is slightly different than the Gujarati food. Because when I share the complete Gujarati Thali recipe, some of you mentioned that can you please do the Kathiawadi Thali. So Kathiawadi food is more spicier because they use lots of onions and garlic, and their meal is never complete without the chash. So in this video, I'm gonna share the recipe for the bajri na rotla, ringan no oro, kadhi, khichdi, as well as we'll make the dhokli no shaak, and of course we have to have the chash and the garlic chutney. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with this video. First of all, we're gonna go ahead and make the khichdi. Now there is a two way you can make it. One of them is Baghareli khichdi. That is more spicier because it has lots of spices as well as the vegetables in it. But typical with the Kathiawadi food, I have seen the very simple one, so that's what I'm gonna make it today. So here I have about 1 cup of rice, and I'm making in the rice cooker, but of course you can make it on a regular cooker also. So with the simple khichdi, you can again make it two-way also. So here I do have the moong dal with the skin on it and the moong dal without the skin. So today I'm gonna make it with the skin one because that's what everybody likes in my family. So we're just gonna basically take the equal part and just add the salt, and that's it. So when you make it the one without the skin dal, you can add a little bit of turmeric powder, and that tastes really good also. So let's go ahead and start first with the khichdi. Okay, so khichdi is done. It's cooking in the rice cooker. We'll move to the next one. So now we're gonna go ahead and make the ringan no oro. So I took this big eggplant and I roasted in oven for about 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes on 350. And that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and peel the skin, and then we'll start making the ringan no oro. And basically that is like a bengan bharta. So and I'm sure I must have shared that recipe before, but I'll go ahead and show you how I make this. So the oil is getting hot here, and the other tip I would give is whenever you want to cut the onions, soak it in the water like this for about 10 to 15 minutes and then cut it, so that way your eyes will not water, and doesn't matter how much onions you need to cut, it will be easy for you. Okay, so the oil is hot, and I'm gonna add the cumin seeds in here as well as the mustard seeds, and I'm just taking like about half a teaspoon. When that crackle, I'm gonna add the asafoetida. So next I'm gonna go ahead and add the green chilies, ginger, as well as the garlic, which I already grinded in the grinder. Next I'm gonna add chopped onions. And now we're gonna let this saute just for a few minutes until onions is soft. Now the onion is cooked, I'm gonna go ahead and add about medium-sized tomato. And now we're gonna wait until tomato is softened. So meanwhile that is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and make the kadhi. So for that I'm gonna take about a half a cup plain yogurt. Into that I'm gonna add about less than a half a cup. You just want a little bit actually. The besan. And I'm sure I must have shared this recipe before in my other video, but it's very easy to make. So now first of all I'm gonna go ahead and mix both these ingredients very well. Make sure there is no lumps in it. So as you can see now, there is no lumps in it. I'm just gonna go ahead and add the water into this. Everything is well mixed, but if you have seen my last video where I share my kitchen gadgets, in that one I mentioned that like this thing is blender is really good if you want to have like a froth on top, especially if you're making shake or anything. So this is what I mean. As you can see, I have lots of froth on top. And that basically you can get it. Let's say I'm blending it. Let me show you. So as I'm blending it, I'm gonna pull it little bit up while I'm doing it, and that way I'm gonna get this perfect froth. So do you see how much froth I got it? So that way this blender is really good for milkshake. So now our tomato is all cooked. We're gonna go ahead and add the dry spices. First of all, I'm gonna add the turmeric powder, like about half a tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of red chili powder. Also half a tablespoon dhania jeera powder. Again, all the spices is up to you how spicy you want it, because we already add the green chilies in it, so it is gonna be spicy, but that's how we like it. So after mixing it, I'm gonna go ahead and add the eggplant in here. I'm gonna add salt into this. That's it. We're gonna mix this and just let it cook for a few minutes, because at this point everything is cooked. We just need to make sure all the spices get combined with the eggplant. Now we'll go ahead and finish the kadhi. So basically in here I just add a little bit of sugar, because Gujarati curry, Kathiyawadi curry is always on a little bit on sweeter side. So I add like about half a tablespoon, and you don't have to add it if you don't want to. Also, I'm gonna add the citric acid. Now this is basically linguina full, if you are familiar with that, because my yogurt is not sour. So if your yogurt is sour, you don't need to add this. So I'm just gonna add a little bit in there, just a pinch of it. You don't want more. Also salt to taste. And that's it. That's all I add in my kadhi. I don't add anything else. And then after it cooked for a few minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and give the tempering. Some people do add the garlic, ginger. Also they add the turmeric powder in there. I don't add all that stuff. So that's it. Now we're gonna go ahead and start cooking the kadhi. So this ringgano oro, it looks all done, and I'm gonna turn the stove off, and that's it. Our curry is gonna be done in 10-15 minutes. One of the sabji is ready, khichdi is getting ready. Now we're gonna go ahead and make the dough for the bajri rotla. So I just transferred the ringgano oro into this and just have some coriander on it, and that's it. So let me know guys in the comments below whether you like this kind of video where it's very casual, where we can hang out with each other, as well as you know, I'm not showing you everything like cut to cut, like okay, first step, second step. You know, this is very casual, like you see me how I'm cooking, and it's like you guys are here with me in my kitchen, you know. So let me know in the comments below whether you like this kind of video or you want like very systematic. So I like this way, you know. I really enjoy this way because it's very casual. I feel more connected with you guys. It's like, here, this is what I do, and I can of course make a mistake, you know, because this is, I'm not gonna cut anything. This is what it is. And when you do the voiceover, of course, and you know, you can do so many times. It's like if I say something and if I messed up, I can just erase it and do it one more time. But here, no, this is it. So let me know in the comments below if you like this way. So now we're gonna go ahead and make the bajri rotla. So for that, I do have the bajri flour here. So this is basically a millet flour. So you can just make the rotla from here. Also, if you want to add the ragi flour into this, you can take equal quantity and make the rotla that way. That tastes really good too. But basically, typical bajri rotla has just the bajri flour, nothing else. So here I'm gonna take about 1 or 2 cups. It's all depend how much you want to make it. In my family, Only my husband likes it. I eat it once in a while. I don't like that much, but he's the only one who likes it. My kids don't like it either. So whenever I make it, it's just basically for him. So I took about a little bit more, 1.5 cup, and it should be more than enough. I'll just add a little bit more. Because this bajri na rotla, if you eat with the fresh butter, you make the homemade butter and eat with that, it tastes really good. Also, you can have it with the pickle green chilies. That tastes so good. So here I'm gonna go ahead and add salt, and this one, when you make this atta, you don't need the oil, because you know, with the roti, atta, chapati, like paratha, anything, we always add the oil into this. In this one, you don't need to add. So here I'm just gonna go ahead and add salt to taste, mix very well, and I'll go ahead and get the water. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add water. And you just want to add a little bit at a time, not too much. And this atta, we need to make it like a paratha. You know, basically how we make the paratha atta, because we don't want too soft and not even too hard either. So now, as you can see, all the flour is kind of combined. To make this soft rotla, what you want to do is you want to take your hand and you want to use this palm and just press it like this. You don't, because see, with the chapati atta, we usually knead it like this to make this softer. In this one, you don't need to do that. You need to make sure you are using your palm and just press it like this. And any time if you think it's getting dry, then you can just sprinkle a little bit of water and keep doing it. By doing this, you will get very soft rotla. I'm gonna let the dough rest for about 15 minutes, and meanwhile our kadhi is boiling, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the tempering into that. So for that, here I took about a tablespoon of ghee, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the stove. So when you're making the Gujarati kadhi, you always want to make sure for tempering you are using the ghee and not the oil. So here my ghee is all hot, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the cumin seeds. You just want like about half a teaspoon, not too much. And of course we do add the curry patta in here. I don't have it, so I'm not adding it, but definitely you cannot make the kadhi without the curry patta. So once that crackle, I'm gonna add just the pinch of methi seeds, the fenugreek seeds. Next, I will go ahead and add just the pinch of asafoetida. And when that everything get mixed, I'm gonna add about 3 or 4 small dry red chilies. And you want to break it so that way, you know, all the spiciness goes into the oil, I mean the ghee, as well as in your kadhi also. And that's it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add this into kadhi. So next we're gonna make the dhokli no shaak. Now this is basically like a gata sabji, but it's a little bit different. So I'm gonna show you how I make it, and for that I'm gonna take the basin, and I'm gonna take about half a cup basin here. maybe a little bit more. Next, I'm gonna add the salt to taste. Also, we need turmeric powder, red chili powder, and a little bit of asafoetida. I'm gonna go ahead and mix everything, and while mixing, again, you want to make sure there is no lumps in it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add the water into this. Now, we don't want too much water because we don't want like runny consistency. So now this mixture is ready, and I mix it really well, make sure there is no lumps in it. And this is the consistency we wanted. It's like very pouring consistency, not like runny. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. So on this other side, I do have the pot that I just add the water. We're gonna wait until the water is boiling, and then I'm gonna put this plate in there. Just I'm gonna have oil, make sure it's greased properly with oil so it doesn't stick, and that's how we're gonna make our dhokli first. Okay, so I did take the oil, and I'm just gonna apply everywhere, so make sure that it doesn't stick. Okay, so I'll just wait until the water is hot. Also, into this batter, I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil, and I'm using the olive oil, but you can use any of them. And once we are ready to pour in here, I'm gonna add just a pinch of baking soda. The reason we want to add the baking soda is just to make sure that it fluff up as well as it cook all the way. So that's the reason I'm gonna add it, but just the pinch, not more than that. As you can see, the water is all boiling, and I'm gonna go ahead and add just a pinch of baking soda. And as soon as you put it in there, you want to just mix it really well on one side. You don't want to go back and forth, not like back and forth or, you know, crazy. You just want to mix it on one side. And when you pour it, you want to pour it from a little bit top like this, so that way it's gonna create some air into that, and that's how you're gonna perfect soft dhokli. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cover this and let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. Dhokli is getting ready. We're gonna go ahead and start making the gravy for the dhokli. So for that, I'm gonna take the plain yogurt. About 1 cup of yogurt is enough. First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this very well. Make sure there is no lumps in it. Next, I'm gonna add all the dry spices. So for that, first of all, I'm gonna add the turmeric powder, red chili powder, dhania jeera powder, salt to taste, and mix everything. And now I'm going to just go ahead and add the water into this. And again, here if you want, you can use the blender to make sure everything is well mix and there's no lumps in it. So now we're gonna go ahead and make the gravy for the dhokli. So for that I took about 2 tablespoons of oil. Again, I'm using the olive oil, you can use any of them. Next I'm gonna add the mustard seeds. And when that crackle, I'm just gonna add a little bit of asafoetida. Also I do have the green chilies here, which I'm gonna go ahead and add. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic. Again, as you can see, like it's lots of garlic as well as the green chilies, because as I mentioned, they eat lots of garlic and green chilies, and it tastes really good actually. I really like the taste of garlic, and once it's sauteed, just we're gonna go ahead and add this mixture into that. And once you pour this into here, you want to make sure that the temperature is low. Also, you are keep mixing it. Do not just put it in there and just leave it, because otherwise it's gonna just get stuck down there. See, now it's thickened up as well as oil is oozing out. That means the gravy is ready. So now I'm gonna switch off the flame, and we're just gonna wait until the dhokli is kind of cool down, and then we're gonna add into this. So this is how it's gonna look like once it's done. We're gonna let it cool down completely, and then whenever you are ready to eat, that time you want to add the dhokli into this. Otherwise it will get very thickened up and will not taste really good. So we want to wait until this get really cool down, and then we're gonna cut it and add it into this. While the dhokli is getting cold, we're gonna go ahead and make the rotla now. So there is a 2 way you can make this. If you are comfortable with it, you can just take a little bit in your hand. Make sure it's perfectly round, and then you can just go around and put your palm on this side, not like in the middle, but around this side, and just go back and forth, so that way it will get bigger. And if you're not familiar with it, you can just take a little bit of regular atta and just roll it. And you want to make it like thicker than the chapati, so it's not gonna be thin. So this is how it's gonna look like, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it here on the tawa. So now we're gonna let it cook on one side for a few minutes, and after about 2-3 minutes, this is what it's gonna look like on this other side. So now we're gonna let it cook on one side. Now let's say if your atta is way too dry and you are getting crack everywhere, then you can just take the water while you were on the other side, like let's say this side. Then you want to go ahead and apply a little bit of water like this on top of that, and make sure there is no crack on it. So you can do that way also, but in my case my atta is fine, so I don't need to do that. So I'm just gonna let it go let it cook on one side. So meanwhile the rotla is getting cooked, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the dhokli. So this is what it's gonna look like. As you can see, it's leaving the edge. That means it's cooked properly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and make the small pieces out of it. So now it's cooked on the other side. We're gonna go ahead and do it on this grill. And if you press it like around, as you can see, it's fluffing up. So this is it. The dhokli is all ready. I just cut them into the small pieces. So as I mentioned before, you want to add this into the gravy when you are ready to eat. Otherwise, because of its basin, it's gonna make the gravy very thick. So we don't want that. So just wait until you are ready to eat. And sometimes I just like to eat this by itself, you know. And my husband usually likes it with the oil. So you can just take the regular oil, add like achar masala in there, and just dip this into that mixture and eat it. It tastes so good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the rotla. Okay, so all the rotla is ready, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply ghee on top of that. Again, you just want to poke it a little bit like this, so make sure the ghee goes all the way in. So there we go, friends. Our Kathiawadi Thali is all ready. As you can see here, I do have bajri na rotla with the garlic chutney, as well as the khichdi is all ready. Next I have here is the ringan no oil, kadhi, as well as dhokli no shaak. And of course we had to have the chash, and our meal is all complete. So this is it, friends. Our Kathiawadi Thali is all ready. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to subscribe. Also leave the comments below and let me know what other kind of video you want me to do. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.